Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honor to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Awashah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called black Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up on the American economy, the Babylonian economy, and it's still ain't looking good, and it ain't gonna look any better. Yep, the Lord is plaguing this place financially, from the jobs, food prices, electricity prices, just everything. Cut Social Security, maybe. Well, I might as well consider cutting. They gonna cut Social Security off anyway. When I mean they, I'm talking about Esau, even so-called white man, but he ain't white. He's raising his baby. They suck a Jewish fag nigga named Amalek, the elite of the Edomites. But anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into and oh yeah, and the people are pissed the fuck off, and I love it. Anyway, I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture my best ability, say whatever God say through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Karach, Kadash, Lord willing be on me. Let's get it.
You know, I truly don't think that we are ready to have the conversation of every single fucking American crushing the fuck out at this
And yeah, the main people that's pissed off the most is the Edomites.
point. Fuck! Rent, power, Wi-Fi, cell phone, insurance, gas, groceries, I don't give a fuck! Goddamn, I'm tired of being told you can figure it out. I'm tired of trying to figure it out! Every goddamn day is the fucking same. Gas is going up, groceries is going up, but yet the fucking higher-ups are living fucking life! Dude, I'm about to fucking crash. I am crashing the fuck out!
Has anybody considered the fact that we might just be underreacting? Anyone? Anyone? Prices of literally everything keep skyrocketing, no matter what. And the supposed leader of the free world says accountability is a scam. How are we not in the streets every day? How are we not putting a stop to the blatant corruption and bullshit that plagues this awful sorry excuse for a country? Other countries are laughing at us because we are letting this happen! The government will not fix it, it is our job! Revolution!
How are we living? We're not in this world. We're existing. That's it. Who else is so tired of the struggle just to survive? Everyone is one paycheck away from losing everything, including myself. I don't have rent for June. I don't even know where rent's gonna come from for July, and I work my ass off. My husband works his ass off, guys. My mental health is gone. I smile every day for my kids, and it's fucking fake. How are we supposed to do this? I'm to the point now where I just can't even worry about bills. I just have to go with it because I have to have surgery.
That's all us Israelites got to deal with. He's just like, it's just stress. I mean, you shouldn't be, and plus, you shouldn't be stressed out about all this shit anyway, because you know this shit coming to an end. But make your priorities and pray to the Lord, you know, show you the way, or do, you know, because boy, this shit don't matter, man. This shit does not fucking matter. None of this shit fucking matter. What matters is Yahweh Shema Shah and delivering his elect out of here, and man, making this place better, man. And making us better too, so we'll never go off and such. Yeah. Anyway, man, I'm so tired of this place. And she talking about she's so tired. I'm like, nigga, you don't know what tired is. You Edomites, you motherfuckers, you heathens don't know what. Some of you know what tired is, but a lot of you don't know what tired is. Tired in so many angles, so many degrees. Shit, nigga, please.
I don't know what to do anymore, guys. I just feel dead inside.
Your ass probably would felt that way before all this shit, all that boohoo crying, dead inside. Yeah, anyway.
I'm not okay. I don't think any of us are actually okay. I think we're all lying. How are we doing this? I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Join me for just a moment while I crash out. I just cried all the way home. You see, my eldest daughter, she had her birthday today. Like, it is her actual birthday today. And her sister and I, we got together with her. And it was quiet. It was nice. We got to talk. We had some delicious charcuterie from the Italian Center and interesting soda from Sip in Sherwood Park. I'm not so sure of this dirty...
Alright, man. I ain't got time to hear 2 minutes of this shit. We gotta move on to the next video. But his brother video right here was at Arrows in the Nation 144. Subscribe. I ain't gonna tell you to do it, but it be wise you do subscribe and be edified and witness the greatness of Yahweh by Shemal Shah breaking down Babylon the Great and other stuff too that he'll post up as short videos. But let me read some Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2. Or matter of fact, no. Well, I'll go ahead and read it. Proverbs 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. These people ain't rejoicing. Esau, hey, hit the low-level devil Edomites. They are not rejoicing. No, they used to when things was going their way, but now the Lord is controlling the wicked elite, and they flipping the pages or flipping things upside down on your ass, and even they gonna fall too. So hey, from the lower levels to the higher ups, y'all all about to fall. Oh, let me get one more. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. That was it. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh, thy God, thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. Yeah, you niggas persecute us, and guess what? The Lord's kicking your ass with playing your bank rolls and your pockets, your wallets, your purses, your bank's accounts, running up them bills and shit. And speaking of bills, let's get to this next video about electric bills. Oh no, it ain't electric bills. It's about taking loan to cover bills. And then they're gonna talk about electric bills afterwards.
All right, so this is pretty disturbing, but it is a harsh reality.
But not they, I mean me. I'm gonna talk about electric bills after this.
More Americans are using loans to cover everyday bills. That's according to a new study from LendingTree.
This morning, Atlanta News First anchor Rick Fullbaum breaks down what the data shows. Rick, budgets are really tight for a lot of people right now. Cash is not flowing freely.
That's right.
They're using these loans.
That's right. These are becoming more and more popular. Good morning, guys. And between inflation and higher living expenses and gas prices, which thankfully are starting to come down a bit, a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet. So the concept of buy now, pay later is even more popular now. LendingTree is an
They say gas pricing going down, like that's wow. But yeah, that's going down, but everything else ain't.
Online marketplace that allows consumers to compare different loan offers, credit cards, and insurance from hundreds of different financial institutions. And they're seeing people have more loans stacked on top of each other and more people starting to make late payments on those loans.
Or either they just don't give a fuck. They're not going to bother making payments.
LendingTree found 8.2% of Americans
stack up that thick clay like America's stacking up that thick clay debt.
Americans now take out personal loans for everyday bills, and that's up sharply from just 3.4% only 3 years ago. Also, among all age groups, Gen Z is the most likely to lean on loans to make ends meet.
And we're seeing more people use them for essential things like groceries as opposed to what they used to be used for primarily, which were things like designer handbags and gaming consoles and appliances. Lenders and retailers have done a really good job of making it easy to use these loans for practically anything, anywhere, but they're really intended more for bigger purchases that you may have to stretch a little bit for, like furniture or technology or more expensive clothing.
Schultz says if you have any buy now, pay later loans, keep track of them, list them out, keep them organized, know how much you owe and the due dates for everything so that you don't miss a payment. It's also important to know your limits and understand your own ability to manage multiple loans. If that's something that you have trouble with, I want to avoid them altogether.
July 4th is America's 250th birthday. A good time to learn more about the
New analysis says that President Donald Trump's energy policies could leave Americans paying more for power over the next decade. The clean energy think tank Energy Innovation estimates that households could see about $460 more a year by the year 2035, adding up to more than $500 billion by 2040. Now, the White House calls the report partisan and says that its policies will boost domestic energy production and that they'll lower costs too. Well, the price.
Yeah, what the hell is this? Oh, that's your bills.
Now, citizens are lining up to speak out against data centers in Nashville. This comes as council members debate restrictions on data centers and the use of eminent domain to stop a data center from being built next to the Nashville Zoo. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. As Metro council members and that meeting get underway, a new report shows data centers are costing everyday customers a lot. Meanwhile, the report claims commercial customers, like data centers, are seeing their electric bills drop. News 2's Lexi Wilson with details.
Wait a minute. What?
Costing everyday customers a lot. Meanwhile, the report claims commercial customers, like data centers, are seeing their
electric data centers, their shit is dropping a lot. Yeah.
Bills drop. News 2's Lexi Wilson.
Yeah, because they're not paying for shit. I mean, they are, but the people are.
With details.
They're flipping the bill.
Energy costs are on the rise, and data centers are to blame, according to a new report by Think Tennessee.
We're not saying data centers are good or bad. We're just laying out the facts.
According to the report, in communities with data centers, electricity bills rose 1.6% on average between 2023 and 2024, which is higher than the state average. The group says residential customers absorbed a 3.2% increase, with electric bills reaching an average of $150 a month. Meanwhile, the organization says commercial customers saw a slight decrease in their electricity bills.
It's not surprising. We've seen the enormous amount of electrical demand that these facilities generate. I think the proposal by the zoo, if it was successful, would consume the same amount of electricity as 50,000 homes, which is just enormous. And so it's unsurprising when we see this enormous increase in demand for electricity that it drives up rates for everybody in a way that's not benefiting our community.
The report also found electricity use from data centers in the Tennessee Valley region has grown by 7 times in 5 years. Think Tennessee says without careful planning, data centers could strain grid reliability. Both researchers and Nashville leaders say there needs to be limitations in place.
And they want you to with this heat wave and shit, this what this shit called, a heat dome, this El Nino, whatever the fuck you call that shit, El Camino. I'll just call it El Camino. But anyway, with this shit going on, they want you to turn off, keep your AC off, because you're putting a strain. You're putting a strain onto the electric grid. Shit, this shit is putting a strain. All these damn data centers. There was nothing wrong when you had maybe a few in one state, but now you got hundreds of these bitches in the state, in one state. Now you got a problem. And a lot of people are dealing with it, especially when it's affecting their grocery bill and their electric bill and their water bill and their mortgage and their property tax and their this and their insurance too. But pretty much everything in life is causing them because of this shit and everything. Hey man, it's all leading to the chip implant. I forgot to mention. I gotta always mention when it comes to money, it's always leading to that RFID microchip implant, because the elite of Esau, Edom, Amalek is trying to create a scenario for everybody who's living check by check, everyday working citizen or whatever, wherever you are living at, whoever you are, to make life a living hell for you, and you won't be able to afford shit, and you will own enough and be happy, and guess what? You'll have a chip implant inside your ass, and that's what it leading to.
I think it's important that we lead not just in artificial intelligence, but in the health and quality of our communities.
We need to consider what are the next steps to ensure we balance this growth with the benefits that exist for Tennesseans. Right?
Oh man, whatever. Anyway, people about to goddamn smash some glass and kick some ass. I can't wait to see that day come, but I'm not participating in it. I'm waiting for my Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah. Yep. Hey, and it'd be best you Israelite do the same thing too. But you know that ain't gonna, not all the, you know, 2/3 got to go out there and be a terror upon Egypt. Yeah. But anyway, Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much, bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag of holes. So you ain't got enough money. You work so hard, you ain't got enough money for food, water, shelter, and saving. And a lot of it is, you know, is being affected by the you know, the AI data centers or whatever the hell. It's just life. It's gotten more expensive. There's always some downs, but never no ups. Well, you seeking the Lord, they're going to be ups. You just got to deal with these downs for the moment. I don't know how long, but it's going to be, I don't know how long, but it's going to be some downs. But you're going to have to look at the bright side. The Lord going to double, triple, trizuple. I can't pronounce that word. But He's going to multiply all the ups. Yeah, we taking a lot of L's right now, but we're going to get a big old W. That's going to drown out all those L's we took for all these years since we've been here in captivity. Yep. So I just, you know, you got to be patient. I got to be patient too. Let's get to this next one about jobs.
Turning now to AI. Let's go and put this one up here on the screen. Very interesting story here from Notice. An internal Treasury Department warning about the dangers of AI. So there's a draft report that allegedly exists inside of the Treasury Department. It is set to warn the risks posed by an artificial intelligence market, liking key aspects of it to .com that upended the U.S. economy in the early 2000s. The document, the existence and contents of which have not been previously reported, is actually a huge departure from the public tone of the administration, which is part of why it's actually important. So here's what they write. Career Treasury analysts found that AI firms are more deeply entrenched in the U.S. economy than their .com predecessors and pose significant risk to the entire system if financial conditions change. Productivity goals are missed or various choke points stymie growth. A downturn in the AI market would send shockwaves throughout the entire economic ecosystem. The report concludes an AI bubble popping would lead to less of an immediate crash than the U.S. economy experienced in the early 2000s, but that the companies would cut back, investors would lose confidence, and the economy would likely grow more slowly should the industry falter. Quote, stock markets, private credit markets, companies financing data center buildouts, cloud providers, chip manufacturers, and utilities would all feel the effects. Trump administration officials have never voiced similar unease in public, and a Treasury Department spokesperson dismissed the findings as, quote, unvetted and not representative of the agency's policy or views. Quote, the official position of the Secretary and the U.S. Treasury is that artificial intelligence will be a key driver of America's new golden age. So they're betting the farm. This is basically, who was president in .com? Was it Clinton or Bush? By that point? It was Clinton, right? So when I think about it, so it was Clinton. I guess it's a little different because he was completely on the way.
Different crashes, yeah.
Right,
March 2000 is really when it starts to down.
Yeah, but if Clinton, I guess if Clinton had a future, or Al Gore or somebody would be like, the future of our economy, he probably did.
I mean, it was right. Like the future of the economy. It's interesting. The future of the economy was the internet.
Right, but in 2014.
And just like with the railroads, the future was the railroads.
Yeah, but 20 years later.
The canals, the railroads kind of eclipsed the canals.
What I think is interesting is basically just because we've all been saying this, everybody knows it to be true. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. However, having an internal report here, which warns about this against your public positioning, this is the type of stuff which can come back to bite you in the ass, right? Because it's kind of like, if I'm thinking back to, remember the...
Bro, when are they going to start talking about jobs? God damn, it says AI CEOs panic after public outrage over job losses. Yeah, I hate when they do these videos like this. The topic does not match up with what they're talking about at the beginning. They could just, well... Anyway,
which were being called in by the big banks. Nobody even knew what was going on. Has now said
now they're getting to the topic. I mean, what's right here, now they're talking about it.
We've been roughly right on technological predictions and pretty wrong on the social and economic implications. Soon after, he told CNBC...
Yeah, they were wrong, but they know that shit was going to happen. I'm pretty sure they knew this shit was going to happen. And so they continued on with it. And the reason why they let it happen, because, it's going to, affect people's lives. And affect them enough that the people going to have to settle to get in a chip implant. Like I said, man, all roads lead to that chip implant. Make people's lives a living hell, bring sorrow into their life, and all they'll have nothing except for a chip implant. And that's what Esau going to offer. Be like, take this chip and everything will be back to normal. Yeah.
Our industry underestimated how much we're going to be able to keep people at the center of everything. Very big difference, I think, here. And now you also have here, they say, Dario, who in May of 2025 had said that there will be, more, who in May in 2025 that AI was going to eliminate half of all jobs. A year later, now says that companies, quote, can do the same thing with less resources, and that leads to things like layoffs, or they can do more with the same amount of resources, but that requires creativity. In a June essay, the executive now writes that in giving warnings of job displacement, he had wanted policymakers to have the best chance of adapting. He was not trying to be a, quote, prophet of doom, and also wrote the possibility of enduring job loss remains. So softening the fall, if this were to come.
On Friday, we talked about Alex Karp's, what people call a meltdown. That's just an Alex Karp monologue. It's not a meltdown. It's just, that's how he talks.
I don't know where they at now. Still talking about AI. I think this whole 19
Capitalist.
minutes.
That's it.
Well, I'll just say 20 minutes of this video. They're talking about AI. But no more about how it's affecting the jobs. What was this? They showed something and now it just went away. Fuck it. If you want to watch the rest of the video, be my guest. They go to title of it, they go to channel. That's all I want to get out of it. Let's get to more job. I'm trying to find some more videos on the other side, on the other screen. Oh, what is this? America just bombed global economy. Yeah, I'm gonna get that one. See what that was about. I'm gonna play this video.
There's a quiet magic at work here. One conjured through.
The official Xbox restructuring announcement literally just dropped. I woke up and saw it, so I'm recording this video right now. 3,200 employees will be let go over the next year, and the 4 studios in question will be spun off and given enough capital to at least finish their next game. When I made my original video about what I thought would happen,
with all these game consoles making changes, they're gonna be a lot of job losses, and it's gonna be global, because production gonna be low and demand won't be so high, because like a PlayStation or Xbox gonna be too damn expensive. Nobody ain't gonna want to buy a $1,000, maybe a $2,000 gaming system. PCs, I don't even know what they gonna be looking like. Shit, might for a basic guy on PC gonna probably cost about $5,000. Shit, probably. You'd be like, man, my basic PC would have ran about at least $1,000 last year. Not anymore. Yeah, but anyway, enough about prices. This shit gonna affect other, because a lot of these companies, they're gonna lose a lot of money, and they're gonna be firing a lot of people, and a lot of people gonna lose their jobs.
this was probably the best possible outcome, I think, all things considered. But it's also pretty bad. I haven't even read the whole press release. Let's go through it right now. This is an important email I sent today to all employees at Xbox. My camera's weird. Team, we are beginning the most significant restructure in Xbox history. After careful consideration, I've made the difficult decision to reduce our team by approximately 3,200 throughout financial year 27. This will include approximately 1,600 role eliminations today. Wow. Okay, so that's happening right now. And in addition, 4 studios will leave Xbox to new management. I recognize that a year-long restructuring creates additional challenges. Unfortunately, it is not possible to make all the necessary changes in a single day, and I wanted to be direct about the scale. I know this is painful. These changes will directly affect people who have poured their creativity into building Xbox. Many joined us through acquisitions, while others were recruited here or sought us out because they love the industry and loved Xbox. Today's decisions do not reflect their talent or dedication. Our business today is not healthy. We are operating at margins that are 3 to 10 times lower than comparable platform and publishing businesses. We entered Gen 9 with a smaller install base and higher cost structure. To grow, we bet on Game Pass, multi-platform, and a broader portfolio of content. While those businesses have created meaningful value, they did not grow at the pace we expected. As that happened, our core business weakened, and we added more teams, more investment, and more time, hoping for a better outcome. And now the industry is facing the most severe hardware crisis in its history. We must reset Xbox. So it sounds like Game Pass isn't doing what it needed to do, and their sales are lower. I read about half of this, if I'm being honest, and the next paragraph's pretty damning. First, we will reset our content portfolio. Since 2018, we have aggressively expanded our studio portfolio, while the number of games created each month across the industry now outpaces the last 10 years combined. Every month more games are released than the last 10 years combined. That's nuts. We now find ourselves competing not only with the largest publishers, but also with smaller independent studios. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio. We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year...
Alright, anyway, they're about to fire a bunch of people, bro. What the hell is this? Yeah, I don't want to read all. What is this? I'm sorry, I'm reading something else. What's happening with champagnes? Let me see what this is about. I'm going to say that because I'm going to make a video, Lord willing, about the global economy. Let me see. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, what's the next video? Let's see what Nina Petrova got to say.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining. If you're new, welcome to the program, and I hope that you consider subscribing and enabling notifications by hitting the bell button. So today we're discussing one of the most ambitious and controversial economic initiatives introduced by the Trump administration, Trump Accounts. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has described the program as, quote, perhaps the most groundbreaking policy innovation of modern times. He has also summed up its philosophy in 4 words, quote, every American a shareholder, and needless to say, those are very bold claims. So what exactly are Trump Accounts? How do they work? Why does the administration believe that they could transform wealth creation in America, and why have critics questioned whether they could eventually reshape the country's retirement system? So let's take a closer look. At its core, Trump Accounts are designed to give every eligible child in the United States a financial head start. Under the program, each eligible newborn receives a $1,000 federally funded investment account shortly after birth. Rather than providing cash that is immediately spent, the money is invested in financial markets with the goal of growing over time through compound returns. The government's initial contribution is only the beginning in this case. Parents, grandparents, relatives, employers, and charitable organizations as well can contribute to the account over the child's lifetime. Now, that is going to be subject to annual contribution limits, which we will discuss in a second. The funds are intended to remain invested for many years, and withdrawals generally are going to be restricted until adulthood. The administration believes that beginning the investment process at birth gives every child something that many Americans never have, which is the opportunity to benefit from decades of compound growth. Scott Bessent argues that the program reflects an important reality about the modern American economy. The United States has one of the world's most productive capital markets, which generates enormous wealth through innovation, through corporate growth, and small businesses. However, ownership of those productive assets remains uneven. Many higher income households own stocks, retirement accounts, businesses, and real estate that appreciate over time, but millions of other Americans rely almost entirely on wages and own relatively few financial assets. According to Bessent himself, this imbalance contributes to America's growing wealth gap. Now, arguably, there are more important reasons, but we will leave those aside for purposes of today's video. So rather than focusing only on redistributing income after wealth has already been created, he argues that more Americans should participate directly in creating wealth by owning productive assets. And so that is the idea behind his slogan, which is every American a shareholder. The administration believes that broader ownership could strengthen household finances while also allowing more Americans to benefit directly from long-term economic growth. One of Bessent's most widely discussed claims concerns the power of compound interest. He argues that if these accounts receive regular contributions over many years and financial markets continue producing long-term returns similar to historical averages, some beneficiaries could accumulate portfolios worth more than $1 million by their late 20s. And so that prediction attracted considerable attention and criticism, of course. However, it is important to understand that it is not guaranteed. It depends on several assumptions. Financial markets would need to continue generating positive long-term returns. Families or other contributors would likely need to make regular contributions beyond the government's initial $1,000 deposit, and the funds would need to remain invested for decades. Markets inevitably experience recessions. They experience corrections and periods of volatility. Future returns may differ substantially from historical performance. But even so, Bessent argues that the mathematics of long-term compounding remain one of the most powerful wealth-building tools that are available.
You're not an LLC? No receipt's in your name. If it's not an LLC, it's in my personal account. If you get sued,
to anyone today. Supporters also believe that Trump accounts could help reduce one of America's biggest economic inequalities, which is unequal ownership of assets. While public debate often focuses on income inequality, wealth inequality is equally important. Income measures what people earn. Wealth measures what they actually own. Households with financial assets such as stocks and retirement portfolios benefit when markets rise. Those who own few assets depend largely on employment income, which makes it much harder to accumulate wealth over time. So the administration believes Trump Trump accounts could actually narrow this ownership gap by ensuring that every eligible child begins life with an investment portfolio. Supporters also argue that the program could encourage financial literacy, long-term saving, and greater participation in America's capital markets. The proposal has also generated significant criticism, as you would imagine. The biggest controversy emerged after Scott Bessent described the accounts as a backdoor for privatizing Social Security. So that remark immediately sparked criticism. Opponents argued that encouraging greater reliance on private investment accounts could eventually weaken support for the traditional Social Security system. Some would also argue that the program represents the first step toward shifting retirement security away from guaranteed public benefit and toward financial markets. Now, following the backlash, Bessent clarified his remarks. He emphasized that Trump accounts are intended to supplement, not replace, Social Security. The White House also stated that the program is designed to provide an additional source of long-term wealth rather than serve as an alternative retirement system. But even so, this highlights a broader philosophical debate. Supporters argue that expanding ownership of productive assets strengthens households and creates long-term prosperity, while critics counter that financial markets are inherently uncertain and should not become the primary foundation of retirement security. Let me know whether you fall within the first category or within the second category. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Now, the timing of the initiative is also important. Trump accounts are being introduced during a period of high federal debt, persistent budget deficits, and growing concerns about the financial future of younger Americans. Many young families face rising housing costs, higher education expenses, and increasing difficulty accumulating wealth compared with previous generations. This is why we say that the American middle class is disappearing. Supporters here argue that giving every child an investment account from birth provides an earlier opportunity to build financial security. And
they do that. Wait a minute. They do that for them small hatters. For the they do that for them. For the Amaleks. I want to say the Amalekites, I meant to say. They do that for them. But they ain't gonna do that shit for you Americans.
Critics question whether a relatively modest initial investment of just $1,000 can meaningfully address much larger structural economic challenges. There are also other people who believe that government resources could be more effectively spent.
Well, with Social Security, that's something you can't fucking touch until you retire or you're dead. Well, you can't touch it if you're dead. But anyway.
On education, on healthcare, housing, infrastructure, or on reducing the national debt. Ultimately, Trump accounts raise a much larger question.
I'm trying to pay attention to what she's saying, but I'm on the other side of the screen looking at other stuff to see what I can add for a next future video. I'm not really paying attention to what she's saying, but whatever.
About economic policy, I would say. What is the best way to expand economic opportunity? Should governments focus primarily on redistributing income after wealth has been created?
No, they're more focused on taking away wealth and destroying your income and getting you microchipped in the process when that time comes. Yeah, that's what they focus on.
Or should they focus on expanding ownership so that more citizens directly...
Oh, remember the slogan, you will own nothing and you be happy. That's not just in America, that's worldwide. They ain't gonna be... No.
benefit from economic growth. Trump accounts clearly embrace the second approach, I would say. Rather than emphasizing redistribution alone, they seek to broaden ownership of productive capital. Whether the program ultimately succeeds will depend on participation rates, of course, on additional private contributions, on long-term market performance, and future political support. But for investors, for parents, and for policymakers, Trump accounts represent one of the most significant experiments in American wealth-building policy in decades. If participation is widespread and markets continue delivering solid long-term returns, the program could gradually expand household ownership of financial assets and reshape how future generations build wealth. But if participation remains limited or investment returns fall short of expectations, the program may prove less transformative than its supporters anticipate. Either way, the initiative has already sparked an important national debate about ownership, about investment, inequality, of course, also about retirement security and the role of government in promoting long-term prosperity. As Scott Bessent has made clear, his vision is simple: every American a shareholder. Whether that vision ultimately changes the American economy remains to be seen, but it is certain to remain one of the most...
Every American's a shareholder. Shit. Every American is a damn slave.
Closely watched economic experiments of the coming years. Thank you so much for watching.
Anyway, next video.
Now be careful with Hardy's new hot honey. You'll get lost in that made from...
Okay, there's a lot going on right now, and I want to keep you informed. Basically, Trump is bombing Iran and now bombing the world economy. And let me show you guys the latest. This is the headline then. Trump orders new round of strikes after calling Iranian leaders, quote, scum. And he basically had a whole meltdown today. You can find my prior video on that. He's wigging out. More than normal, actually. Then we're bombing here. U.S. military launches new strikes on Iran, right? As Trump says, quote, not sure he wants a deal. So I guess we just want endless war. Is that what we want? And then Trump then was tweeting out all sorts of explosion photos and video. This is Trump's social media. You can see it for yourself. I'll just go through quickly. This is literally what he's tweeting out. Like explosion after explosion after explosion was everything that he was interested in, I guess, today. See, it's really a lot. And then he's tweeting out about his new jet, which they had a weird fiasco with that, which I'll go over in a moment. Also about Gavin. Then they put a signage on the West Wing. I think they're doing this because he can't find his way around the White House. Seriously. So they put a new sign up for him, and then more explosion stuff, and that's what Trump is tweeting out. Now, while all this is going on, the world economy then now is projected to be much worse than it was. I think you guys already know this, but I want to give you the numbers. Global economy hit by Iran war and inflation faces sharp slowdown. That's coming from the IMF, right? International Monetary Fund. Here's the projection. Global output growth is poised to fall to 3% in 2026, okay? From 3.5% last year. So again, we're going from 3.5% 2025 to 3% 2026. That's growth. Then you got to talk about inflation. So think about how this is related. Shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, right, was obstructed for months, sending energy prices higher and pushing up consumer prices around the world. So it affects all of us. The IMF expects global inflation will rise to 4.7% in 2026 from 4.1. Okay, so put that together. Inflation 4.7, growth at 3. That's bad. Inflation is outpacing growth. It's bad. And in fact, every country is going to be different. Some are going to feel much worse than others. For many people right now, that means your real wages are negative. So basically, costs are outpacing your wage gains, if any, right? So that. And then it's even going to get worse because inflation is spiking. The Fed's like thinking about raising. That's probably what they're going to do. The bet on the table this year, hold, raise once, maybe even twice. Depends who you ask, and we'll see how this shakes out. So that's why we're tracking it, because essentially Trump in this whole war thing is raising borrowing costs for everyone. We're looking at major slowdowns. I think you guys know this, and also you have elevated inflation.
There were a few times when President Trump misspoke, notably in this news conference. He couldn't seem to come up with the initials for the JCPOA. That was the Obama-era nuclear agreement. He seemed to confuse the name Putin with Zelensky, though he caught himself and tried to clean that up. And he suggested the USS Abraham Lincoln was hit by the Islamic Republic of Japan. Those were just a few instances there where the president seemed to misspeak. But
all right, so we're misspeaking. This is the part with Japan, the one that caught my attention. Let's listen to it, what he says.
An aircraft carrier, which is one of the most beautiful in the world. It's one of the biggest, the Abraham Lincoln. And 2 months ago, we had 100, I told this story yesterday, we had 111 missiles shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the aircraft carrier over a period of about 1 hour. 111 missiles going to a very expensive ship, and every one of those missiles was knocked down. Pretty much most of my pictures, but
I ain't gonna play no more of this. I'm lost of what he talking. Is it this global or the time about America's? Anyway, it's bad news. And shit, I love it.
University of Phoenix has no tuition.
Sound like that video is mostly talking about the global economy. I mean, it is the United States. What is the United States looking like in the global economy? But anyway, I ain't got much time to play that video anymore. Let's see what this is about.
Gains, just fixed and affordable tuition.
Whatever part of freedom you're fighting for, that's what we want. We want freedom. And ultimately, it's one thing, because we have a secret governance system that's trying to assert more and more central control, and we all feel it, even though we're pushing back. So what is happening is a process began in the 90s where the central bankers said, currently the central bankers run monetary policy, the money supply, the currency, but the people's representatives, whether it's the legislature or the executive branch, run fiscal policy. So that's, setting the taxes, collecting the taxes, spending the tax money. And the bankers said, let's have a financial coup and use digital technology and take over fiscal policy as well, so we, the bankers, can run monetary and fiscal policy. And the way they're doing this is by moving to an all-digital financial system where you can use what's called programmable money. Some people have heard of central bank digital currency. That's a kind of programmable money. But let's talk about our current system. In our current system, we have what I call two-lock money. So you're a buyer, I'm a seller, we transact, and you have a lock and I have a lock. If you say no...
I'm not going to play all this, but if you want to watch the rest of it, there go the title of the video, there go the channel. I'm just going to play a little snippet of it and get to the last one, where it's the Hopeful A3, and see what that be. We know what it's going to be like. It's going to be bad news. people crying, sighing, mourning, and yeah, just like the first one they played earlier, coming from Arrows Into Nation 144. But them niggas were pissed. Well, most of them were pissed. Some were crying. But anyway.
Transaction doesn't happen. If I say no, transaction doesn't happen. Now, financial institutions can intercede with money laundering regulations or know your customer or other sort of rules, but basically the transaction is going quickly and we're the only people who can stop it, okay? They want to move to a system called 3-lock money. That's programmable money. There's you, and there's me, and then there's Mr. Global's complex algorithm back.
Yeah, that's going to be tied into the chip implants.
Up by all those wonderful data
Mark of the beast.
Centers, right? And Mr. Global gets a say on every transaction. So if Mr. Global says you can't leave.
Mr. Global is actually Esau's so-called white man, but he's not white, he's red. He's a baby dick sucking, foreskin eating Jewish faggot nigga named Amalek.
If you're 15-minute city, your money won't transact outside of your 15-minute city. So it's got spatial control, it's got all sorts of medical and food control. So if I'm interested in medical freedom, why do I care? And that's because we can pass all the federal, state, and local laws we want saying we're free to do whatever we want. We're free to say no to a health mandate. And that may be, our state may protect our religious exemption or our ability to not comply with a mandate. But literally, if the banks turn off your money and say, okay, well, if you don't comply, we're going to turn off your money. You know, the state won't force you to do it, but you won't be able to transact in the general financial system. Now, this includes your financial assets because they're now saying they want to issue digital tokens on your financial assets in a way that they're on a distributed ledger and they can make them programmable. So last year we passed the Genius Act, which is an act describing the regulatory framework for stablecoins, which to be used as a currency. Right now, we have Congress negotiating the Clarity Act, and the Clarity Act describes digital tokens. And what we know is that Wall Street and the banking system want to use digital tokens to trade all the other assets, both real assets like your house or your stocks and bonds. And what they've said is they want to move all the stocks and bonds in the world onto a distributive ledger, which gives them then the ability to make it programmable. And the Bank of International Settlements, which has been running the process on central bank digital currency, has announced it's making an inventory of all the assets in the world. And they want to be able to trade all assets with a digital token. One of the creepiest things I've ever heard was a software developer bragging about how cool this was, because you could go to the grocery store and pay for your groceries with 0.01% of your house equity. So here's what's very...
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what this shit going to talk about. I see something about recession, so I already know it's going to have something to do with the economy, but I didn't know it was the global or the American economy. Sounds more like the American economy, but it's all going to ultimately be global.
Confusing. If you look at the debate about the...
Alright, I ain't going to play no more. I only got 42 minutes. Let me get this last one coming from the Homeful Elect 3. Yeah, there go the title of the video, there go the channel. Let's move to the last one. Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is no warmth. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes.
How are we living? We're not in this world. We're existing. That's it.
Oh, I remember her. She was talking about the struggle. We're struggling. Yeah, they played that one in the Arrows Into Nation 144 video.
Who else is so tired of this struggle just to survive? Everyone is one paycheck away from losing everything, including myself. I don't have rent for June. I don't even know where rent's gonna come from for July, and I work my ass off. My husband works his ass off, guys. My mental health is gone. I smile every day for my kids, and it's fucking fake. How are we supposed to do this? I'm to the point now where I just can't even worry about bills. I just have to go with it because I have to have surgery. I don't know what to do anymore, guys. I just feel dead inside. I'm not okay. I don't think any of us are actually okay. I think we're all lying. How are we so tired. I'm so tired.
My heart goes out to anyone that is currently struggling financially. It's so hard, and you feel like such a failure. But you're not. You're not. We're living in the most ridiculous times where it's so expensive to just stay alive. And there's so many that just are so fucking greedy. And they're like, I need more money. And like you, and you can barely pay your bills. I'm just like, I'm in way more financial detriment than I thought I was. And I'm trying to figure out how to solve it. I'm not looking for any sympathy. I'm just looking to connect with those that are resonating with this burden that we have to carry. How hard we work. How much we just try and give and give and give. I had to move out when I split up with my partner, and I moved into this new apartment, and it was more expensive than I really knew I could pay, but it was kind of my only option because I don't have a car and I need to be centrally located to places where I can get groceries, etc. It doesn't matter, the details don't matter. But I had the first couple months free, which was really nice, and I just paid yesterday, and I'm like, there's so many bills coming at me, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this. But it's all gonna work out. I just need to take some time and space to figure it all out. So I'm sending love and support. If you're also moving through some financial hardships or health hardships or whatever it is, we need community, and we're in this together, okay?
They said that shit when COVID came around.
So, I go to my mom's just a little bit ago, and she told me that her and her husband are going tomorrow to find jobs. 67, all going on 68 years old. Retired. They both draw Social Security, and they have to go and find jobs tomorrow because of this economy. And because of the people in this world that own homes and want to rent homes out for thousands of fucking dollars. Just years ago, a few years ago, motherfuckers was paying $500, $600, $700, $800 a month. If you paid $1,000, you had a nice ass fucking place. And nowadays, motherfuckers own places, and they want to get every motherfucker for every fucking dime they make. And you're going to have to pay it, or you're going to be homeless. Just over in the last 5 years on Dream Street here in Florence, Kentucky, I've seen homeless pick up so much. 5 years ago, you drive down the street, you see maybe 1 or 2 homeless people. Nowadays, you see motherfuckers with grocery carts and luggage and bags and shit posted up. I see a crazy woman sitting out here on the fucking corner every fucking day on a suitcase. Why? Because she can't afford to live, probably. I don't know the case. I don't know her situation, but over the fucking past 5 years, this fucking place has gone crazy with homeless people. And it's because of fucking pieces of shit that own fucking properties and want to raise the motherfucking rent to the fucking maximum. It's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. If you own property and you rent and you fucking charge thousands of dollars when just fucking 5 years ago you was only charging hundreds of dollars, you're a piece of shit too. A 67-year-old motherfucker should not have to get out here and work. Old people should not have to work. You work your fucking life, you fucking retire.
Man, I had a customer, but I ain't even cut her y'all one time. This one was like in her 80s, still working at Dollar General. Was she 90? I don't know, but shit. She was about that damn old, still working. It was an Edomite woman too, and this was 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Last time I cut her yard. But yeah, man, this been going on before. This been going on before his ass was complaining or this video came out. Yeah. Anyway.
You're a piece of shit for whoever does that.
Well, there goes $600 on a car full of groceries. No wonder the all-time like population statistic, whatever the hell you want to call it, is at its all-time low. The amount of people having babies is at an all-time low. Let that sink in. But no, that has nothing to do with the affordability of life in general. I can't imagine, literally cannot imagine people that have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, upwards of 12 children. I honestly do not understand. Kudos to you, but I would simply just probably crawl up under a rock and pass away. This is absolutely ridiculous. That's my mini rant for the day.
What's good, OD people? Can somebody explain this to me, please? How you working every day and still can't get ahead? I'm tired of this shit, and I know you are. You're doing everything they told you to do. Everything. You go to work, stay out of trouble, pay them bills, then payday come. And it's gone. Before you can even fucking breathe. Lights, food, gas, insurance, phone. Now you looking like you need CPO. But they just knocked all the motherfucking breath out you. And that ain't because people don't want to work. It's because life is expensive. It done got so expensive, we got to start teaching our kids multiple streams of income. Real shit. Not just one job. Because one paycheck, it don't stretch like it used to. And, for y'all who don't know, back in the day, shit was cheap. $200 get you mad shit. Now, $100, get your ass kicked.
Yeah. Seek the Yahweh Shema Shai. How you do that? By seeking his prophets. It's about to get hard. Let me get what can I read? I'll still focus on looking for some other videos to add into a future video or future videos. I'll just read this. Yeah, I'll just read this. No. I'll read this. I ain't gonna read it all the way, but just something to let you Israelites know, hey man, here in America, man, it's this place sucks. And it's only gonna get worse. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Talking about America, and deliver every man his soul, be not cut off of her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her recompense. Pay back Babylon. America has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken the wine, therefore the nations are mad. Matter of fact, I might as well keep on reading. Babylon, America, is suddenly fallen and destroyed, and the Lord is destroying this place. With the spirit of America is being destroyed. All that pride is being destroyed. The military looking weak and it's being destroyed. The economy, which we on that topic, is looking shitty and it's being destroyed by the Lord. You people, you Babylonian Americans are being destroyed. Yeah, the headquarters of Esau's rulership, or whatever you want to call it, is being destroyed, and that's America, Babylon the Great. That's the headquarters of Esau rulership. Yep. And it's being destroyed by Yahweh Shema Shai, and it's about to be fall. It's gonna fall. How for her, take balm for her pain, so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. The Lord is not about to fix this place. Nope. He's about to destroy it. Forsake her and let us go, everyone to his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven. And people leaving out of here. People that wasn't even born here in America, they came here to make money. Now they're leaving out here because there ain't no money to be made. And you got people from America, people that's here, that born and raised here, leaving out here, going to other countries because it's a lot cheaper, they say. And it's not as crazy, they say. But it's going to get crazy, especially when they implement the chip implant worldwide. Yeah. But anyway, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky. So, yeah. Seek the Lord by seeking his prophets and take heed what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shai by praying Yahweh Shema Shai, praising Yahweh Shema Shai, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shai, fearing Yahweh Shema Shai, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shai. To all the men out there pushing his truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shai, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shai. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. Yahweh Shema Shai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.